From the top to the bottom, the top I stop. At the core, I forgot. In the middle of my thoughts, take it pop. What's good, YouTube? Yep, boy 21 here, bringing you guys another episode of Locals Reports today. Went to Locals today, and honestly, I was pretty satisfied with my results. Gonna start off by saying I scrubbed out, went to X2, but I won some pretty impressive games, and I guess luck was involved here and there. But without further ado, let's begin. Round one, I finally played against our local pro RJ, and he's a good player. He topped a bunch of ARG, like 2 or 3 or 4 ARGs. I don't fucking know. And I know he topped YCSs in the past. So I'm like, this is a player that I've been wanting to try to play and beat for a while because the last few times we played in tournaments, he beat me. And we opened game one, and the game really didn't last long. He opened his hand. He was playing Shadows. He opened his hand and said pass. I drew, thinking he just had Shadow Fusion and it's like probably a brick hand. Gigant X, search out Goldfish, and to go Gigant, 10 Goldfish and a Gadget X, Goldfish, attack 23, set 3 back row pass. And, well, actually, yeah, and pass. And then he just drew his card. He played Fusion, and I had the warning, and he pretty much scooped because he said his hand was terrible. He had opened up the Dragon Engine. I guess he was playing the Lightsworn variant that Holden played, and it runs those Light Dragon and Dark Dragon level 4 guys. So he said he opened up all 4 of them in his hand with a Shadow Fusion. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty shitty hand. And then we go into game 2. He went first. His hand seemed like it was okay. I think he set one, and I don't think he didn't set anything. He just set one or 2 back row pass. My turn. I opened up Shadow Mirror. I opened Vanity's Emptiness, Forbidden Lance, testing out. I took out Chalice to test out the Lance for today. So long story short, make Gigant X again. Hit Goldfish Gadget. Make Gigant X again. Search out my Quackmiro Power Hand. He RJ had to read it because he didn't know what it did. And basically attacked directly. He drew for his turn. He set. Then he was thinking about it for a minute because he knew I had Power Hand in hand. And to make a long story short, what ended up happening was I flipped Emptiness on him. He ends up Raigeki my field after I Emptiness his Shadow Fusion, and then he was thinking about setting, but I had Power Hand in hand, and he didn't really want to set. I had Power Hand and Kage in my hand, so I was pretty much good to go because I didn't have a trap, but Power Hand would last for that one turn into main phase 2. I have a Power Hand to face down, attack him for 11, overlaid. And he pretty much just scooped it up at that point because I had one more back row, but I think it was an MST, and I had Power Hand in hand, and he was low on resources. He had like 1 card in hand, which was a Shadow Monster. So I ended up beating our local pro, and that was pretty good because I feel like it was an accomplishment to beat him. Even though I knew he drew pretty crappy game 1. Game 2, I don't think he drew that crappy. I think it was I had to oust everything he do. So shit happens, Yu-Gi-Oh! Luck is involved in the card games. Round 2, really the game. I played up against a kid running Burning Abyss, and all I remember was game 1, Chain Summoning pretty much helped me win the game. And game 2, he beat me because he just had advantage. And then game 3, I'm thinking I'm going to lose. I literally had a macro and a TT set, and I have a gadget in hand. And he ends up. So basically, I redoxed in defense mode, pass. It was a long, stressful duel. All I remember was I redoxed in defense mode, pass. He had a Dante on board. Well, he had a Dante on board that was overlaid with that one Downer Magician. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to have to try to get rid of my. I have TT and macro. So if it's something, my goal is a TT chain macro. And I'm going to lose my redox, but I'm forcing him to summon because I want him to try to get rid of my redox. So I was basically, I had to sacrifice my redox, and it wound up playing in my favor because he had Downer Magician and a Burning Abyss monster on the field. He immediately went for the BLS play, and I TT chain macro. He had like 1 card in hand. He said fuck and just passed. And then for the rest of the duel, because I had all good back rows. I top decked the Compose set, pass. He drew set pass, I drew set pass, he drew set pass, I drew set pass. And eventually I just drew goldfish and just with a gadget. And eventually I made a 1-on-1 just in case he had Regeki break because I didn't have a lance to protect me from Regeki break. Made 1-on-1, beating life points, and had Macro on board. He kept setting his Burning Abyss monsters. I was tackling away. I drew Max C, and long story short, he ended up finally being able to get rid of my 1-on-1 by doing something to it. I forgot what it was. I think he wing blasted it out of the way. No, he posted it. And I had Trap Stun set. I drew the Trap Stun, but I ripped the T King, Trap Stun's back row, summoned my Thunder King, 19, and it was pretty much game over from there. Really, really intense game. I wish you guys could have saw it. Wish I had someone recording that game because it was a really good game. Round 3, I played up against another good player named Vince, and I changed some in OTK'd on game 1. He made first turn window because he don't playing chain gadgets. He knows window fucks me up. I opened up Vanity's Emptiness, Trap Stun. Nah, Vanity's Emptiness, Trap Stun, Breakthrough Skill, Gadget, Chain Summon. I'm like, okay, that's not a bad hand. I set 3 pass. He attacks with window. I'm like, okay, I take it. My turn, draw. I go Treacherous Myrmilio. He warnings. He pass. I pass. He attacks. My turn. I'm forgetting something here and there. All I remember was he did warning my Myrmilio, hit him at 6,000. He had no back row, window on board. My turn, draw. I had Gadget. And no, I had drew a Redox. So I Redox effect, special summon Gadget from graveyard, chain breakthrough skill to window, chain summoning. When it was negated, chain summoning resolved. I had 3 more normal summons left because all I got was special summon, and I ended up making Gigant X, King of the Pharaoh Imps, and a 101 hitting him for 6,000. So it was a pretty good game. Went into game 2 pretty confident, and what ended up happening was very intense game, but I had complete advantage. I had the Shadow Mirror and etc. in the back, Vanity Infinite. And he was long resources to play Shadow Fusion, brung out a window against my Gigant X. He said he played Error because I guess he was going to make should have made Construct, but I had an Alpha Construct on my hand, so I don't see how that was a player. But anyway, long story short, I had Shadow Mirror on board, and he made the window pass. I had 10 goldfish in hand, 10 goldfish, special summon gadget. I tried to overlay. My dumbass thing I can overlay because Shadow Mirror on the build. But window is a continuous effect, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot. So I beat over window. He didn't get no effect. Hit him for 22 with the 10 goldfish or whatever, and gadget. And what ended up happening was, I forgot what the fuck happened. He basically, in short term, he ended up coming back. I think he MST'd my Shadow Mirror, and then he made he ripped something, which allowed him to come back and beat me that game. Forgot what it was. I think it was a BLS or something. But no, he made Construct. He was able to get rid of Shadow Mirror, make Construct, and be over my field. And I couldn't do shit because he just summoned. And the moral of the story is like, if I would have kept my 10 goldfish, I would have won because he wouldn't be able to get rid of my, even though he had no back rows, I had no way to get over Construct. I was just drawing gadgets and I couldn't draw a trap to save my fucking life. So if I would have paid attention to the field and not used 10 goldfish, I would have won because I could have had goldfish in the hand. Gadget would have been on field. I had gadget in the hand already. As soon as he made Construct run me over, I would have made 10 goldfish, special summon gadget, make 1-on-1 Castel and beat face in for game. That's what should have happened, but it didn't, so it was my fault. I fucked up. But I learned about Windows effect being continuous. It was kind of stupid of me saying that, and it's pretty much common sense. But hey, I don't play in locals like that. I forget. I mean, I know I play every fucking week pretty much, but I don't get enough play testing time in this game as I would have. So shit happens. So I ended up losing because of my stupid misplay. Going into round 4. At this point, the tournament didn't really matter because it was only 8 people, and they were saying first and second only get prizes, which fucking sucked, but whatever. So third and fourth didn't get anything, and pretty much everyone else dropped out of the tournament already. It was already 4, and first got 40 store credit. Second place got 20 store credit. I think it should have been. I personally feel like the tournament should have been first place gets 30, second place gets 20, and third and fourth get $5 store credit just to give them their money back because they made third and fourth. But whatever, not my tournament, not my store. They run how they want to run it. Played up against the Medoche player from last format. If you guys remember me talking about him for my locals report, he came back from Wisconsin because he goes to school out here and he's playing Shadows. Really good player. I really respect him a lot. And I really didn't care about the game, but I was trying to beat him because I know he's a good player and just want to get some practice in. So he was playing Shadows, and pretty much, long story short, I opened up one back row for him game one in all monsters, and he pretty much just rapes me. Game two, I sat out 3 gadgets and everything that I was supposed to side out basically for the Shadow matchup. 3 gadgets, 2 chain summonings, and the 1 Kage, and a power shuffle and everything. And I opened up literally 3 gadgets and Gigant X, going first, mind you, with a time space trap hole. And I'm like, wow, okay, this hand fucking sucks. I lose. And I put up a fight for a little bit, but he had the nuts, the Shadow Fusion, so much advantage in my Futurama, the guy from Futurama, what the fuck's his name? Not Dr. Zoidberg. It was the one guy on Futurama. The Fry is the granddad. And my Fry's from Granddad for Futurama boys. But yeah, I just pretty much got my shit pushed in, and it was pretty stupid game. I drew brick hand game too, and I got 2-0. So what I learned from locals this week to wrap this video up. Remember Windows continuous effect when I have Shadow Mirror on a field, because that was something that really caused me to lose against Shadows round 3. And if I would have won, I would have went round 4 and played up against Satella Knights. And I think my side deck has a pretty good matchup for Satella Knights, because I saw the guy that was playing the Satella Knight deck, and he was siding into the hands. And I do main deck Deep Prisons, and I do probably would have sided the macros in, knowing he main decks the hand, or side the hand. So it was one of those things like, yeah, it is what it is. Locals, or LU locals. So yeah, pretty sad, but at the same time, it was like highlights of the day. I got to beat a local pro, which is pretty good, because game 2, I don't know. Would you really consider that a win? I mean, I just had all the outs game 2 and he drew bad game 1. But hey, I'm playing gadgets, so fuck the world. And yeah, pretty much it. My match against the Burning Abyss was a pretty fun match too. It was pretty much we were going back and forth, and I had to do some pro plays to pull my victory out of my ass. So post your comments in the comment section down below on how locals went for you guys this week. This is your boy 21 with Locals Report, and I'm out. Rate, comment, subscribe, guys. Deuces.